Wembanyama had taken over the NBA and the Spurs had finally taken off. That happened last night in Houston. Wemby scored only 10 points with 11 rebounds, but he did have 7 blocks, and the Spurs did have a 6-point lead at halftime. Then lost 114 to 101, huh? So, Keyshawn, what exactly happened here, and where is Wemby in his NBA growth in your eyes?
Inconsistent, right? He needs to be a little more consistent, up and down. The other night when he played against Chet, we felt, okay, he was balling. He stepped up to it. He kind of wanted to show that I'm the new big in town.
In the fourth quarter, he took it over. Yep.
I just think it's one of those deals where he's trying to understand the NBA game, okay? I know everyone says that he played pro basketball overseas, but pro basketball overseas is a different game. It's a different floor. It's a different rule. It's just totally different. And I think when you look at it, the Boston Celtics, the San Antonio Spurs, they got to find a running mate with him. He needs you got to find him a Tony Parker or Chris Paul type guard that could facilitate to be able to bring the best out in him. This team is not a complete basketball team. They're not very good overall. And when we're asking him based on his talent and his ceiling and all those sort of things to be what you project him to be in such a short time frame, Skip, that's not going to be the case. I mean, and the Rockets aren't a horrible team. They play tough. They play good basketball at times. They beat my Lakers a couple times. So they've won some games where you're like, oh, God, I can't believe the Rockets won this game. Now, obviously, they're playing against a team that's at the bottom of the NBA standings. But they got a 8-foot guy that can shoot threes and all sorts of stuff. But Wemby's not there yet. I think people are putting so much hype on him that when you see a game like last night, the first thing you start to question is, how could he ever take over the league? How could he ever take over the league? I think 2 years from now, you'll see what he's all about. It's still early, Skip.
But the hype was caused by people saying, this is going to be the greatest player ever.
Yes, and he has shown you, as I said the other night against OKC. Oh, my God, he could be the greatest player ever. But he ain't got nothing around him either.
You know, Trey Jones has given him a little more of a point guard than he has had, and Sohan has some point skills. But here's the point. I watch them constantly. Longtime Spurs fan, not a big Pop fan, but still a Spurs fan. Coming out of the All-Star break, Wemby just took it up like 5 notches. And I'm saying, my God. Now I'm seeing that and that. I'm seeing block shots. He is running away with the NBA blocks lead. It's not
the tallest dude in the NBA. He should.
By far.
Between him and Bo, they got to be neck and neck.
By the way, do we have the Aaron Holiday block? Just real quick before I got to do a quick aside. Do we have the Aaron Holiday block? Watch this. This is like, this is just silliness. It's like, you know, Sean Elliott, the Spurs commentator and broadcaster, calls that a dad block. It's like dad in the driveway with the little kid. You know, it just, when I saw it, I said, well, it's just not even fair.
No, it's not.
And I don't know what Aaron Holiday's even thinking.
He's already at the rim, Skip.
He just stands flat-footed and reaches out and basically takes the ball out of the air from poor little Aaron Holiday. Okay, so they had won a couple of games in a row. And what have I told you all year? When he is playing for the last 10-ish games, I'm talking about he's playing at an MVP level where you could start to talk about, wait a second, is that the best productivity in all of basketball? And, I mean, it's beyond Joker in a lot of ways.
Winning.
Okay, they're not winning. Okay, that's the point. But I thought, are they poised for takeoff? And then this happens last night, and they played a nice first half. They're up 6 at halftime. And now I get to Alpi Sengun of the Houston Rockets. All right, Sengun is 6 feet 11 inches tall out of Turkey.
45.
He dropped 45 points. Okay, 6'11" he is. And he's only a year and a half older than Wemby. So he's 21 and Wemby's 20, but there's about a year and a half between them. But still, it's only a year and a half. So Wemby's going to have to deal, they're going to have to deal with each other for a long time as they go head-to-head, whatever it is, 4 or 5 times a year. All right, so I'm going to show you what Wemby did to Sengun, because of his 7 blocks last night, 5 of them were on Sengun. So can we check this out,
6'11" versus
I know.
Wemby, 7'4",
I don't know.
5, 7'6".
Here, I'm going to show you the blocks. Sengun says, I'm going to try you. I'm going to try. No, you're not going to do that. You got no hope on that shot. I'm going to try you. I'm going to go up hard. No, there's 2 right there. Did they call a foul on that? I'm not sure.
But those are dad blocks, though, Skip.
Dad blocks. That's flat-footed block.
Yeah, he's not
of the 6'11" dude,
jumping.
right? Okay. And one more time.
A little jump.
Ridiculous. He took the ball right out of his hands. And try me again. Try me. No, you can't do that.
But the problem is...
Okay, so I showed you 5 blocks.
But the problem is Wemby's underneath the basket.
Yeah.
Because he's backed him all the way down underneath the basket, but he's so damn tall, it doesn't matter.
All right, here's the bottom line to what happened last night. Sengun is so tenacious. He is so relentless that he just said, I ain't backing down. I'm going to keep going at you. He scored a career-high 45 points. I showed you the bad plays. I don't have time to show you all the good plays because what's the oldest cliche in basketball? You attack a shot blocker. You try to get into his chest because you don't want him to, if you let him extend at 7'4" and whatever it is, like a 10-foot wingspan, well, it's ridiculous. If you let him reach out and get the long arm of the law extended, you got no chance. But if you power up into him where he has to...
He tried that a few times. He got a few blocks.
He got okay. But he got away with it a bunch of times where he victimized him again and again. He put up a stat line last night that has never been put up in the history of the NBA because he had 45 points. He had 15-plus rebounds because he had 16. He had 5 steals, so if you have 5 or more steals, and then you actually make 2 threes on top of that, you have 2 or more threes. No one had ever done that before of any center in the history of the NBA. So at 6'11", he obviously got the best of Wemby, and here's what shocked me about Wemby, because he has competed hard down the stretches of a lot of fourth quarters where they did have a chance. I think Sengun made him quit in the second half. You realize he scored 0 in the second half. You realize he wouldn't even shoot in the second half, and I don't get it because
he was getting pounded on too.
He never got to the free throw line the whole game.
But even if he's blocking those shots, he's blocking those shots underneath the basket. They're starting out on the perimeter, and he's forcing his way. Sengun is forcing his way down, even though he's blocking him. He's pounding him, so I'm sure he's probably like...
He pounded him.
You know, I don't feel like dealing with this right now.
I think he didn't want to deal with it in the second half, and he had... The only stat he registered in the whole second half was he had 5 turnovers.
Yeah, a lot of turnovers last night.
All right, so 5 turnovers and no production, no points, no free throws, no nothing. They lost by 13, so they're up 6 at halftime, and in the end, the only reason they're credible at all is because of him, right?
Well, he's going to have to deal with this in his career. He's going to have to see bigger, thicker centers that got a little more power to him.
He's thicker.
Yeah, he's just a thicker, I mean, 6'11", but he's thicker.
He's got a base.
He probably outweighs Wemby by 50 pounds if you put him on the scale.
He's,
you know?
I don't know if it's 50, but he's 6'11", 250 to 60-ish.
Yeah, and he 7 feet tall, 200.
Yeah, he is. You know, he is 7'4", 200. Yep. Nope, you're right. You're right. So it was interesting, and there'll be some book out now on Wemby. Well, just punish him. Just go at him as hard as you can go at him.
Yeah.
You're going to pay occasionally because he's going to dad block you. And he's just going to take the ball right, like a couple of times on Sengun, he's just taking the ball out of the air, like taking it out of your hand.
And this goes back to what I'm saying about the consistency and understanding the NBA game versus the game that he once was playing over in Europe, where they're shooting the basketball way more than they're pounding it down low. He'll get used to that. And I'm sure Pop is telling me, I know you hate Pop, or not hate him, but don't like him. Don't like him much. I'm sure Pop is telling him, hey, this is the thing that they're going to try to do to you. Be ready. Be you know, get your feet ready. Stand still. Whatever it is that he's teaching him, he's going to teach him that this is what they're going to try to do.
Okay. I still think San Antonio should be better than 13-49. They're 5 games the worst team in the West. 13-49. They're only 2 teams worse in the East, Detroit and Washington.
But you think that way because of Wemby.
I just do, because if you, it just seems like if you give me that guy.
But he's inconsistent, Skip.
Yeah, but he hasn't been.
He didn't play all year long the way he played post All-Star break. If he played that way all year long, then yeah, your gripe is they should be better. But that's
Well, my first
It's
gripe
not.
was he was just going and
shooting threes.
he was posting up at the three-point line, right? What are you doing? And he's got a nice stroke, but
you got to remember, where is he coming from?
Yeah.
Finesse basketball.
Yeah,
they
that's
like
true.
to shoot it overseas. They like to pull the trigger and shoot it. So first thing he gets to the United States and playing in the NBA, it's like his DNA triggers him to shoot at the three-point line.
I do think he looks in the mirror and sees a little two-guard in himself because he's got a sweet handle.
And that may,
he
and that may be the
he
case.
does, yeah.
And that may be the case.
Okay, but for much of the year, he has been the worst three-point shooter in basketball.
Doesn't matter,
Lately,
though.
he's starting to click
But it
a
doesn't
little
matter because if I'm used to doing something and
Yeah.
that's what I know and it's in my DNA, I'm going to do it all the time.
Yeah.
It takes a minute to get that out of you.
bit. Just interesting because there are nights where I just sit back and shake my head and say, that's just too good. You know, like, I don't know how other humans, other mortals deal with that length and skill.
He's too
You know?
tall.
He's just too tall and too long. He's not only tall, he's long.
Yeah.
Although the kid last night for Phoenix, that Bol, he's
Bobo's just as long. I don't know which one is skinnier, though.
Shaq loves him. Shaq was just raving about him on inside the NBA.
They should play him more.
Yeah, they should. He was rocking last night.